Apparently Brody needs lights on in the morning too. Good morning, Brody! Do you know your lights are on? Another cloudy, gloomy, rain last night. Glad beans are done morning. That's all I can say. I don't think it amounted to much more than wet the highways and the corn plants down, but corn harvest, we can grind through that. It is what it is. So, as soon as the grain carts show up, we should be able to start harvest again. See, the raccoons have been having fun in the corn again. Look at the destruction. That's what you get when the creek is right there. They just go down there, wash their hands, and come up and have some sweet corn. Whoa, mister, what's going on? Wiped out 12. What's going on? I don't know, Autopath grabbed the straight track line into the field. Hate when that happens. Really embarrassing, and then you get the comments from behind.
Time to wake up. Just like I ran a big stick with my scrap rollers and had to get out and pull it out.
You're ingesting wood again, Brody?
Yeah. It was weird. I wasn't even standing up. I was flat on the ground apparently. And I picked up and got caught. Uh-oh, not good.
Yes, the beavers are back, Duggo. Got a nice muddy trail right down into the creek.
Is there any dams?
I don't know, it's hard to see from the cornfield. It's so grassy down there.
Well, I was down there with the mower and chopped all them willows down.
Well, I have a feeling if they've been eating corn and making houses, they've got a dam somewhere.
You guessed it. Rain, a little bit more moistness. We must need it, evidently. I personally am against it in the fall, especially to the point of what we have to work with, as you guys, I'm sure, are seeing. So, I'll show you something that some of you may not, some of you may know what it is, what it's used for, but she's coming back out of retirement. What's the word? Seldomly used, but often abused. We picked up a chunk of ground that we have not been farming before, and the previous farmer did not have a chopping corn head. So it seems like the last couple of years we've been hooking on a lot of stuff that we no longer use a lot. And let's just say the parts to repair it, they're substantially more expensive than they used to be as everything. But yeah, we've pretty much only been using that to chop CRP and edges of fields and things, and you know what everybody puts in edges of fields. I don't know why. It's hard, evidently, to, as you pick the rock off the field, you would think that it would be easier to place the rocks off of the field farther out into the spots where you are never going to farm, instead of just placing the boulders on the edge of the field just 3 feet off of the cropland. And that's where Mr. Stock Shredder gets abused. When the rocks the size of small kitchen chairs get driven over, it's not good. I'll show you what happened the last time I was out with it. It actually, yeah, it poked a hole right through. When the knife busted off, it tried to send it through the hood of the chopper. So now I've got to try to quickly repair a few knives, turn them, because they do get wore out. As you see, they're supposed to be, oh, I should have showed you what a new one looks like. Let me get the new ones. Time out. You can see, obviously, that the old one is not like the new one. The old one is not like the new one. And the holder, that's supposed to be straight. You know, this one's been remodeled because of when the rocks get in there. Well, you can about imagine. Sparks, you name it, you will see it coming out of there when you hit the big rock. So I'm gonna just throw a few of these on, reverse some of them to get the sharp side on it. You can see the welded up where they're welded. Why? Oh yeah, there's the weld on the hard surface, whatever they call it. But I'm gonna turn this one so it's on that side, and it's only 68 acres, so it doesn't have to be a big fancy job, but that's what I'm into. While they're out mudding, then I get to run down and check the dryer every hour and a half or so. And it sounds like I get to go look for the 5-horse pump, I believe, and take back down to the drainage ditch because we are going to have to wash the tracks out of everything. Oh, goody. Okay, so I may be overthinking this. I don't think I am, but we take our scale that is very accurate. Anyway, I tell myself it is. For our coolant that we add to our air conditioning units on the machinery trucks and stuff, and we weigh each knife. 0.96. I write it on there, as I have on all them, because you want to have an equally weighted opposite side of the rotor. So each set of knives have to be equally weighted. This should have been a winter project. I may skip a few steps, so do as I say, not as I do, children. Here you can see how this works. So the knife that I've been working on now, and yeah, that always wants to roll around to where you don't want it and you get to chase it around, but this is the game that we're going to play now. And for those that don't know or have never seen how these work, these rotate at a very, very high RPM, around and around, kicking the trash forward. That's why there's covers here. Don't mind this bent up one. That's what happens when the rocks, you know, as I have, yeah, you know all about that. Can you imagine the unfortunate if perhaps somehow raccoons ever got underneath here? Can you imagine the bad day, the headache? The headache, that's an understatement. It's not a good day. I've never seen that before, but it's not good. Well, that's what you got. So I get to do this throughout the entire machine. The center ones are not as bad because the outside edge, like I say, the first 3 feet really take the beating. I see this here one is kind of wore thin or wore crooked, but the other ones in the center are not as bad. And it sure is nice down here in the pit. I'm gonna have to maneuver the chopper over to the other side, get that over here to work on that side, but I think I'm just gonna call this side good to go. And maybe tomorrow we'll see if we go chopping. And I don't know if it's gonna matter to anybody, but I was told many years ago you always keep the bolts facing the left. Has something to do with the rotation of the rotor and hitting stuff. It's supposed to keep it tightening up. That's just a memory I have. Look out for your heads. And that memory is not what it used to be, so maybe I dreamt that up, but I think that's right. Anyway, it's right to me right now. It might not be right to me tomorrow, but as of right now, it's correct. We're gonna just turn this baby around and see if it will tip over down into the pit. Hang on. We got to do a little shift in here. It's a little nerve-wracking. Okay. You tell me when to stop. You're gonna have to speak up. I couldn't hear you. Yeah, the thing is pretty well balanced, so even though that tire was in the air, it did not tip over. And that comes from years of experience watching it bounce around. All I can say is, for those that know, well, that's right. We made it to Stevens County, boys. It is very soupy here, guys. Send it. This is going to be a long 155 acres. This is right up there with some of the worst once again. Oh my. It's, yeah. There's nothing to say, I guess. It is what it is. You gotta get the corn off and it's wet and it's squashy here though. Really squashy. That's the word I'll use. This headland here. So it's too wet here. I guess they can make it work. I'm drifting right now. But they're going around through our bean field right here and loading trucks on the road over there. Just because this loading zone here is, you know, maybe a day or two you could drive trucks in the field, as you can see. That's a joke. It's hard to steer into the headlands. Once you get straight, it goes okay. Looks like Brody's got a load on him. Here comes our breakfast. Mom's bringing morale-boosting food. Oh, it's misting now, Brody.
Wet out here. Should we just take a moment and just sit here for a little bit? Maybe it'll dry up.
As it's misting.
Wow, look at that.
Wow.
The problem is there's no time to eat when you're doing this mudding stuff.
Oh, hi, Chris. Oh,
they can't get out of their tractors.
Yeah, the ladders are full of mud. Look at the track system. This is the mud that really plugs tracks. Stevens County mud. There's no words to even describe what it's like.
Big wheels.
Big wheels, yeah. Yeah. Oh, what a beautiful day. Mist, light mist.
Make everything better.
All right, well, bathroom break. Stretch break.
In no hurry today.
Well, the greatest part is we got 450 acres within 2 miles here to do, so we'll be here a while.
Can't wait.
It's gonna be fun. Ooh, that's nice. Feels nice on the hands. The thing that discourages me the most about this is I just know that tillage ain't gonna work, and we will most likely, not gonna guarantee you it, but I'm most likely assuming that we will be hooking on to our 5 and 7 shank ripper just because they're light, they don't sink, and you can pull them without spinning out. And I guess there's nothing wrong with that. It's just slow and lots of plugging, spinning, mud and tracks. But we got to get tillage done. Once you rut it up like this, you got to get it leveled off. This guy here, the neighbor, they're loading on the road too. And then he just drives down the ditch, which is extremely steep. Holy cow.
You watching that great cart? Unbelievable.
I don't think a 2598 is going to make it doing that. I think the front and the back would get hung up on the ditch. When you look at this. Like 2 meals in one here. Thanks, Mom. All the other guys are very happy too. Come on! Hammer it! Oh my Lord. Come on, let's go! Come on! Crabbing, he's crabbing! Oh man.
Well, we may have to start not putting more when it really gets bad like that. 40,000 pounds is all you can put on the carts, and that was 53, so okay. Take that into consideration, or else just not go into conditions like that. But it's really hard to avoid when the whole end of the field is mud, literally.
That was pretty mean of Chet, Chris.
I might have loaded him up in a mud hole. He had to back up and drive ahead a couple of times, get himself out of that. Conditions on the west side of the field are no better than the east side. For the most part, it's been pretty good, but the headlands are just where the trouble all happens at. Oh, we're almost done with this field. All we have left is this little bit. And then to a field that is going to be as bad, if not worse. The next field, if you were wondering, is not any better. In fact, it may be worse. Oh, settle down there, head. It's the brakes. Much needed. First part about this is the headlands are the worst, and that's obviously where they have to go to get to the trucks that are on the road. We might have to upgrade to a bigger, wider tractor. Little 9R's having a hard time, and then they get to drive down there to where the trucks are parking at a nice approach.
You know, I think this is gonna be just fine the way it is. I'm gonna go with the theory of, because I, for some reason, always feel more comfortable bordering all sides of the field with the right side of any implement. I'm guessing that's why the right side is all beat to pieces, because that's the side that's out into the rocks. This is not too bad. I'm not saying it's good, but I'm calling these okay. And we are gonna go for the full send tomorrow with this unit. If I do it, I will definitely bring you with. And I will also say, if any of you guys are out there debating about wanting a chopping corn head, do it. They're crazily priced, but by the time you keep maintenance on one of these buggers and own a tractor, put hours on the tractor, by far the chopping corn head has made advances on our farm and everybody's farm. So you go out there and you find yourself a chopping corn head. Now it's time to hydrate. Okay, I switched tractors. It's got a 120-inch stance on it, so that's going to go down his 30-inch rows. That other tractor, the 7330 that I had on there, that actually is set up for baling. So it's got a little wider stance on it. It was not going to go down the rows. So we said, hey, why not get something else full of mud so that we can wash it up, although it is fairly muddy. So we're going to try it out, and I don't know, it's raining out right now, or a terrible heavy mist. So I don't think today would be the right day to go out and try to chop stocks. I need to tuck this away somewhere out of the way. Stock chopping, there's a lot of debris that will be up in this area by the time I'm done, because it's a corn cob throwing machine. As you guys will find out, but it's gonna have to be tomorrow, because it ain't gonna work today. And I can't imagine how they're combining out there. Oh well. I guess I gotta grease the tractor now before I leave. I did grease that. This is just the another one of the episodes of It Just Don't End. I just keep showing back up. But as I was greasing the chopper, I couldn't help but to think, I'm gonna have to ask you guys, or Milwaukee, if they have any idea, unless Milwaukee is owned by the grease company. I blame it on the long hose. I like the long hose. Milwaukee's caulk gun, that actually, when you're done dispensing the caulk, I believe it actually pulls back on the lever, you know, on the plunger lever, that is, and which then allows it not to ooze out. These things, if you're actually owned by a grease company, Milwaukee, marvelous idea, because I'm really questioning if half the grease that we purchase doesn't ooze out after I pull it off the Zerk. This ain't a hack. I'm just, yeah, you guys invent that, and I'll buy 6 of them. I promise.
Nah.
It's oozing. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but I'll take these over the old hand one any day. So it's maybe a small price to pay, but there's got to be a better way. Sorry for my little rant. It really ain't a rant. It's just a make it like that caulk gun. I'll promise I'll buy 6.
And it's, of course, they have to obviously go through it when they're loaded down, and it's really struggling. Let's just say they're really struggling. Otherwise, most of this field going back and forth are pretty decent. Of course, the most important area of the field is the wettest. Well, I think that's going to be a wrap on today. It's been a stressful one. Emotionally, mentally stressful. So we are going to shut down for the night. I got Dad here. He came to pick us up. He's using the box scraper to scrape mud off the road so we don't cause an accident overnight. Granted, it's a gravel road, so I'm not too worried about high traffic, but nonetheless, be a little respectful. And I think that's going to be it. Thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please stop in again.